During Masters of the Air Episode 5, the 100th Bomb Group sets out on their third mission in as many days, the Munster Raid, wherein only one plane manages to make it back to Thorpe Abbotts, manned by Rosie Rosenthal, who went on to survive World War II and complete many more notable missions. The Munster Raid was the third mission in what was nicknamed Black Week. During this handful of days, the 100th and other American Air Force troops faced severe losses during many dangerous missions. Rosenthal and his crew's survival was a miracle among ongoing disaster. Like many of the 100th's missions, the Munster Raid began with the men already at a disadvantage. Because the group had already lost a handful of planes during the previous Bremen mission, they could only send 17 planes into the Munster Raid rather than the regulation 20 to 21. Then, during the mission, 4 planes turned back due to mechanical failures. Of the 13 that made it to Munster, only Rosenthal's plane, Royal Flush, returned to base and reported on what happened to the others. While some of the 100th were able to escape their planes, others were not so lucky. Rosenthal completed his 25 missions, and then kept going. Rosie Rosenthal ended up being one of the most accomplished members of the 100th Bomb Group. After he survived the Munster Raid, which was only his third mission with the 100th, he continued flying. Not only did Rosenthal fly the standard 25 missions that allowed a solider to go home, like Captain Glenn Dye, but he went even further and completed 52 missions in total. Rosenthal served in the United States Army Air Forces from 1941 until the end of the war in 1945. The Munster Raid was not his only notable mission either. In September 1944, Rosenthal was flying a plane that was shot down over German-occupied France. Though he broke his arm and his nose, Rosenthal managed to return to duty with the help of the Free French. Later, in February 1945, in his second-to-last mission, Rosenthal was on a mission to bomb Berlin when his plane caught fire. He stayed with the plane until they had hit their bomb site, and within seconds of the plane exploding, he escaped. Once again, Rosenthal was saved by Allied forces and returned to duty immediately after. Rosenthal's service did not end after the war was over either. Though the fighting stopped in 1945, Rosenthal remained in Europe to assist with the Nuremberg trials. While there, he personally interrogated Hermann Göring. He also met his wife at the trials, who served in the Women's Reserve of the United States Navy and was also a lawyer. When the two returned to the United States, they had 3 children together. Rosie Rosenthal's story remains one of the most miraculous among the 100th's dreary history, as portrayed by Masters of the Air.